Okay, welcome back to another Modern League. This time something slightly different, still along variations around a theme. We've got Black Green Rock today. Thought I'd give it a go. Played Jund a couple of times. Always a fan of Black Green Rock as well. I had this in paper before I had Jund. Just really like, again, the style of play is quite similar to Jund. You get slightly less impactful cards. You don't get some of the big heavy hitters from Jund. You don't get Bloodbraid Elf, you don't get Kolaghan's Command, you don't get Lightning Bolt, but you do gain some equity. You get to run a 2-colour mana base, which is a lot less painful against things like Prowess and Burn. You get to run, we're running 3 Lurrus in the main deck, which is obviously really good grindy card. Buys back Mishra's Bauble, all of your threats pretty much apart from Liliana. We've got main deck Graveyard Hate in Spellbomb. Again, the cost of this is reduced because you can loop it with Lurrus and draw a card every turn, an extra card every turn if it gets to that point. We've got Hex Drinkers as more sort of quick early threats. We've got Dark Confidant, one of my favourite cards. Unfortunately, not really a home for it in Jund at the moment, because Brennan 6 is sort of just better in a lot of regards. Dark Confidant does have downside of it, dies to Lava Dart and Brennan 6. And we get to play Scavenging Ooze, which I think I spoke about in the last video. With Jund I'd cut because Crocs are sort of, you never have that much green available, so this is main deck sort of life gain and Graveyard Hate as well. So yeah, move on to the side. We also get to run some land destruction in the main, Ghost Quarters here, another one on the side, and then sideboard fairly similar. We've got some sort of modal spells that are good against several matchups. We've got some land destruction for Tron and Control, Kalitas for the grindy matchups, Plague Engineer, which is just really good against can be good against mid-range and good against sort of aggro swarm decks like humans, elves, etc. A couple more discard spells as well. Worth saying, this is the same 75 that did well in a modern challenge. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. MTGO name was Edward 40 Hands. I think that is Sol Mulker, who kind of many years ago first sort of invented this green-black mid-range sort of style deck. So yeah, I've just taken his 75. Not sure if the spell bombs are still something you want to be doing. I think that list was before the Euro ban, when you kind of wanted more Graveyard Hate in the main. But there we go. Thought we'd give this a go. Run it through a league and see how we get on. Yeah, always good to try out new mid-range decks. Want to try Abzan. Always wanted Abzan to be good. I think Abzan's interesting. It was having some success when Valky was plaguing the format. I think mostly because you could play Deafening Silence in the board, but I know certain streamers have been having some success with Abzan, playing Stoneforge Mystic, I believe, and you get some excellent cards in white. Lingering Souls, although Lingering Souls may not be at its best at the moment. You get what else do you get? Kaya's Guile, things like that. Stoneforge Mystic, if you want to run that as a threat. So yeah, might give that a go at some point. A lot of players playing, which is good. The format seems pretty good at the moment. Yeah, so with Rock, tend to find from playing before. So Rock versus Jund, you kind of have a better time against things like Prowess and Burn, where you're taking less damage from your lands, and you've got some sort of threats that are good in those matchups, but then you lose ability against control and other mid-range, just because you can't grind quite so hard. You haven't got the big 2-for-1s that Jun does. Okay, so this is round 1. We are on the play. We've got opponent's mana base and removal, so I think we're going to keep this in the blind on the play and try and find a threat. We get to Inquisition away some of my opponent's cards. Let's see what we find in my opponent's hand. Okay, so it's Dredge. So next turn we want to get as much out of their hand as possible in terms of their enablers, so we'll take a Shriekhorn, and then next turn we'll Inquisition, take the Cathartic Reunion. This is where it's good to have some main deck hate. Say play Arid Mesa, fetch Shock, play Shriekhorn. We'll take a draw step. Bauble's not too bad, just a redraw. We'll Inquisition again because we're going to want to take this Cathartic Reunion out of my opponent's hand. They found a Bloodghast, but we'll take this Cathartic Reunion, play another Blooming Marsh. Yeah, no real. Doesn't really matter what I do with this Bauble. I guess we could have kept it to try and push something with Revolt, but my opponent has Cathartic Reunion on top, but I can't imagine they will not use Shriekhorn, so that's quite a good one to be on top for them. Yeah. Okay, so they don't hit any Dredges, which is good for us. They hit a Creeping Chill, but still no Dredge. We get to draw a card. Would love a Spell Bomb. More land isn't really what we want, so I have to take a natural draw. Can't play Bloodghast. Could play Golgari Thug. Play a Blood Crypt. Okay, Golgari Thug. So worth saying that we are not going to push this because we don't want to put a Dredger into the graveyard. Hex Drink is good. So we're going to play out our Blooming Marsh. We'll play a Hexy. We could decay the Shriekhorn. Gives them another land, but they have lands in hand anyway. I don't mind that actually. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think I'm willing to trade my Assassin's Trophy here for a Shriekhorn activation, given that my opponent doesn't have any Dredges in hand, in the graveyard even. Next turn we can level up Hex Drinker several times. Gemstone Mines, we need 2 of the cards in my opponent's hand. Prized Amalgam from hand. We are a-okay with that. Not blocking here because we don't want to put a Dredger into the graveyard. Okay, so gonna level up Hexy here. Make it level 3, and then we'll play a Hissing Quagmire. Maybe we should have leveled up. Well, we'll have 5 mana next turn, so we can, make this into the mini Progenitus mode next turn if we don't draw anything else. Yeah, this is a really interesting card. So, yeah, we're currently protection from instants, and then 8+ is protection from everything. Not a normal line of text to have on a card, but we'll take it. Opponent attacks us for 3 with Prized Amalgam. So there's a Bloodghast. So we've got Thoughtseize, we're just going to play out a peat land, and then we're going to level up Hex Drinker 5 times and start swinging for 6 with protection from everything. Take a damage from peat land, but there's our 6/6. Opponent held back their creatures to block this, but you cannot block Hex Drinker when it's a mini Progenitus. So we're going to take 3, 4, 5, 6 here. So opponent is doing a... We are on a 2-turn clock from my opponent. Not sure. Oh right. So opponent keeping this back because of Hissing Quagmire. Depends what my opponent does here. 3 mana. There's a Stinkweed Imp. Okay, so... Ooh, that's an interesting one. So there's no point in doing this. So I think we just attack for 2, play Lurrus, play Bauble, and then we've got Revolt for push. Yeah, so we're going to attack for 6, hoping to fade Conflagrate really. We'll play a Lurrus of the Dream Den. Lifelink coming in very handy here. And then my opponent's got a Forgotten Cave that they haven't cycled yet. I think we'll bauble them now, see what they're drawing. Life from the Loam. Okay, sure. So that's probably what they're waiting for the Forgotten Cave for, so they can dredge. Probably hoping to hit some Creeping Chills. So we have Revolt this turn. So we can Fatal Push, but we're going to wait until my opponent attacks. Waiting until their turn kind of telegraphs that we've got Fatal Push, but needs must. So yeah, we'll be pushing the Prized Amalgam here. Life from the Loam, sure. So we know they have Forgotten Cave and 2 lands in hand, and then 1 unknown. Okay, so they're cycling Forgotten Caves. They're going to dredge 2 from life. They hit an Ox, which is problematic if my opponent plays land and then casts Ox. We are potentially in trouble. If they hit multiple chills, although I don't think they've got any dredges in hand, and there's 1 dredger in hand, sorry, but there's none in the graveyard. We know they've got Life from the Loam in hand. So if they Ox, let's say worst case scenario, they hit. If they hit 3 Creeping Chills, we just die. They've already gone through 1. If they hit 2, we go to 1. We can block the Bloodghast. Okay, so they're just... Okay. So we're going to... We want to gain some life, essentially. We don't necessarily want... I think we're gonna Fatal Push. But we don't want to put a Dredger in the eye. Essentially we want to take minimal damage. So we're just gonna Fatal Push the Prized Amalgam. Now we don't need Lurrus, really, so I think I'm happy to just gain some life here. It's going to kill Lurrus, but that's fine. We're going to put some dredges in the graveyard for them for their Ox. We're going to gain some life up to 8, just giving us more wiggle room for Conflagrate and Creeping Chills. They're going to put cards back in, which is because because Hex Drinker can't be blocked. They're going to cast the Ox and try and hit 3 Creeping Chills, I think, is their plan. Three Creeping Chills, or I guess Conflagrate. They're going to have 3 cards in hand, so they can deal us 3. So 2 Creeping Chills is enough. There's a Conflagrate. But they do have to pay a... Yeah, they have to pay mana for that. There's no more dredges in. So yeah, I think we win here now. Yeah, my opponent concedes. So Hex Drinker, very good there. The only threat we really needed, Mini Progenitus. Right, okay, so very good to beat Dredge game 1. We're going to take out all of our Lilianas. If people have watched my last Jund video, we play against Dredge round 1 there. Could even be the same player. Just wondering what the modes on Golgari Charm were. So we're going to bring in Kalitas, Graveyard Hate, pretty standard. Ashiok as well. We've got the Spell Bombs in the main. Fatal Push doesn't do too much for us. This is destroy target enchantment, so don't really want that. Brutality's fine. Scoo's obviously really good. Bob's good. What else do we? So Plague Engineer is interesting. As is Duress. So I think we'll. How many fatal pushes? I don't think we want any fatal pushes. We're going to cut those to bring in one more, hopefully impactful card. I think we'll bring in a Plague Engineer. Let's go with that. Not really. Nothing else really appeals. So yeah, so we have, unfortunately, an unkeepable hand. Only just. If one of these was black mana, we would be happy with this. We have to mulligan. Okay, so this is okay. It's got a Nile Spell Bomb, it's got a Bauble, and then potential removal for a what do you call it? A Shriekhorn. So yeah, happy to keep this. Just need to buy us time before we can find Tarmogoyfs and Scavenging Oozes really. So we'll keep what we bottom. I think we'll bottom the trophy. We're not going to want the trophy. Keep the lands. Opponent goes first, so let's see what they do. Arid Mesa, they are fetching Shriekhorn. Conflagrate for 0. Okay, so Scooz is a good draw. So there's no dredges, so we could yeah, we care less about what's going on in my opponent's hand. So we're finding Lurus, so yeah, we're going to want to draw that, I think. Or are we? Are we all in on this Scavenging Ooze? Do we want to fetch and shuffle the Lurus away? I don't think we're ready for Lurus yet. I mean, we don't have to play it, I suppose. Really, what we're going to want to do is, I think we'll keep it on top. I mean, we're going to get the draw from the Bauble anyway. So here, my opponent probably looking to Conflagrate to just deal us 5 damage or something, just to discard their hand and get dredges into the yard. Okay, so this is fine. So we'll let Cathartic Reunion resolve, and then we'll Spell Bomb away everything. I think that's the way to do it. Creeping Chill, which goes on the stack after Cathartic Reunion has resolved. So yeah, we're Creeping Chill. So they don't hit anything else. Would we rather just draw a card? How much do we care about Creeping Chill? No, I think this is fine. I think we're just going to spell bomb everything away. And then cast Scavenging Ooze. Inquisition, so we don't really want to cast that, so this, we'll just go and get, do we shock? Yeah, we're going to shock, so if we draw a land next turn we're going to want to potentially cast Lurus. Okay, our shield's down for a turn. Want to fade another Cathartic Reunion from my opponent. Just finds nothing. There's a Bob, so we'll play the Quagmire tapped. Inquisition, my opponent. Okay, so Stinkweed Imps they can't cast Bloodghast, so they haven't got any instant speed draw. So might as well take this as the only card they can cast, and then we'll exile it. Opponent. Oh, I don't know if they wanted to. I don't know if my opponent wanted to Dark Blast there. I think they probably should, because then I have to Inquisition away a creature, and then they definitely get a Dredger in. Okay, so here we're attacking, and then we're going to play Dark Confidant. Can start drawing us more cards. It attacks for 2. We could have played Hex Drinker, but we always want to leave up some green mana here. Okay, Mana Confluence. Probably a Stinkweed Imp. Okay. So yeah, don't need to eat anything from our graveyard. Here comes Dark Confidant. Draws the land, which is nice. Brutality as well. Okay, so what we're going to do. So we're just going to attack with our Dark Confidant. If they trade here, we'll eat it with the Scavenging Ooze. Okay, so then we'll play this land. So either, I think we're just going to eat the Stinkweed Imp, and then play a Hex Drinker. Might as well level up the Hex Drinker with Swamp, and then we'll fetch just in case of any instant speed dredge shenanigans. Yeah. So there was another option there. We could have Lurus into Spell Bomb, but I think we might as well make the Skoos bigger, gain some life. Yeah, we get to keep our opponent's graveyard empty, and we just get to hold up a Skoos activation here. Want to avoid Lightning Axe, really. We're saying we can eat whatever they discard to Lightning Axe. So if my opponent just plays Stinkweed Imp, deciding against. So there's nothing we need to eat with Scavenging Ooze. Okay, we're bashing in for 5 a turn. So I think we'll just attack first. Get in for 5. And now we're going to play Lurus. Although we could just hold up. What's the problem with just holding up Okay, so they do have Lightning Axe, which is fine. Like, I'm a little surprised they don't Lightning Axe this Scavenging Ooze. Yeah, we don't need to worry about any of that. Play the Blooming Marsh. And then I think I think now it's time for Lurus, given that we've very nearly got lethal next turn with Collective Brutality Drain. We'll play the Spell Bomb out of the yard. Okay, so we've got Spell Bomb up. We've got good creatures on the battlefield. We've got some stuff in hand. Yeah, opponent gives it up. So Rock proving to have a bit of a better time there against Dredge than we did with Jund. You know, the main deck Spell Bombs, although not coming up game 1 I suppose, but yeah, just the Scavenging Ooze really going to work on our opponent's graveyard, and then finishing things off with a Lurus Spell Bomb loop. So yeah, that was a good start to our Rock League. See you back again for round number 2. Okay, welcome back for round number 2 with Black Green Rock. On the draw, in this one, gonna have to take a mulligan because we've opened a no-lander. Yeah, this is much better. We'll keep this and bottom a land, I think. Although we do want to ensure we cast Liliana on 3. Maybe it's a creature. Or a Spell Bomb. Yeah, let's get rid of Spell Bomb. We'd much rather have this this hand on the play. Field Ruin, main. Okay, Ether Vial. Okay, so that makes me want to fetch first, if it's going to be some sort of taxes. Do draw the land, so would have liked to draw. Would like to bottom one really, but yeah. So this is taxes. Okay, so we'll fetch. Opponent possibly got some sort of heavy hitters in hand. Okay, so Bob. I think we're going to want to play Bob. So let's fetch. We'll fetch a forest here. Play Dark Confidant. Fully expecting to get this Pathed or Skyclave Apparitions. Nothing forthcoming in my opponent's end step. And we could get Arbiter Field of Ruined here, which isn't the worst for us. We've got lands in hand. Okay, that's fine. Bob's going to draw us a card. Okay, so non-basic lands enter tapped, which is a little bit annoying. We'll play this Liliana, and we'll make my opponent sacrifice a creature. Okay, putting in a spell, a creature, there's an Arbiter, which they might sacrifice. They do. So we'll pass the turn there. Bit annoying that we can't attack through this. Gonna want to find some sort of removal. So this probably kills Liliana, yeah. Yeah, we are at risk of being taxed out of this. My opponent's got quite a lot of lands, got 2 cards in hand. They have bumped their Ether Vial up to 3. They haven't cast a spell this turn. They can't arbiter field now. Not sure what we're going to do next turn, really. What is this? If a source an opponent controls will deal damage to you or a permanent you control, prevent 1. Whenever you or another permanent becomes the target of... Crikey. That's quite something. Yeah, Liliana is annoying because we can't, given the restriction, we can't, is this on basic lands, each player can't cast more than one spell each turn. The fact that that's both, let's cast Liliana. We'll tick up, and then we can hopefully sacrifice. Yeah, hopefully we can make them sacrifice this next turn. So we're going to hit him for what is 1 damage. Let's do anything else. No. What's the other one? Snowlands your opponent's control enter the battlefield tapped. Non-creature spells your opponent's cast with converted mana cost 4 or greater cost 2 more to cast. Okay. So opponent is playing off the top. Yeah, we will next turn. Okay, opponent is targeting. Is it going after Liliana? Sacrificing to draw a card. Yeah, so we're going to try and make my opponent sacrifice a creature. There's a Giver of Runes. Spell Bomb, not really what we want to see, but okay, so we could continue ticking up. But the trouble is this is going to get there, and that can give it protection. This can give this protection anyway, so yeah, we'll have my opponent sacrifice a creature, and we'll pay the 1. Do I want to attack with Bob? 3 mana. Do we want to attack with Bob? If they flash in, I don't actually think it's worth it for 1 damage. Let's cast Allurus. Hopefully my opponent hasn't found anything too good. So we get to lifelink here, and we could attack with Hissing Quagmire as well. Okay, opponent got 2 cards in hand. They are attacking with the Archon. So are we going to see a path? Thalia. Okay. Another Liliana. We could do that hitting those. So this is annoying because this has Death this has First Strike, so we can't attack with Lurus now. So I think it's just Liliana, they sacrifice a creature, or we could play a Tarmogoyf, but Tarmogoyf doesn't block, so... Oh, that costs 1 more though, and then this makes it not work. So we could play Liliana and uptick, or we could play a Goyf. We're going to play Liliana, I think. And then hopefully down tick next turn. We're not going to want to play another Dark Confidant. Let's see. Will my opponent attack with everything? If they do, I probably double block. We don't gain the life from Lurus. Okay, I'm moving my opponent, relying on Bob to kill me. Trophy is very good. So we'll just down tick. Trophy costs more mana, yeah, so we'll down tick first. Opponent sacrifices a creature. Yeah, trophy this. Gives them another land, which is annoying. But hopefully we get to crash him with Lurus. I think it only gains us 2 is the trouble. So it prevents the damage, yeah. Okay, that's not too bad though. We gain some life. Sure, so we'll go and got a lot of green stuff in hand. Yeah, we'll go and get more green, I think. Given that we probably want to scavenging ooze. Bob's kept the cards flowing here. We got 6 cards in hand. The taxing effect has kind of stopped us playing them. Opponent plays a land. They seem to have quite a lot of lands. They're paying costs. This can't do anything else. Putting a creature onto the battlefield. Apparition's pretty good. It's not got flying though. Yeah, gets Liliana. Bob finds a Verdant Catacombs, which is nice, and an Inquisition, which is less nice. So I'll play this. So what are we doing here? I think we're just going to fetch. Have we got another green? No, so we're going to get Swamp. I think we just flood the board with creatures now. Okay, so this will deal less damage. I think I just... we can't attack with Dark Confidant. I think I'm going to attack with Lurus though. I'm happy for this to be a trade. Keep the opponent's board clear. Okay. So we'll now play Scavenging Ooze and start gaining loads of life. We might as well play the Spell Bomb. Not that we're gonna use it. So yeah, we'll start gaining life with the Scoos. Opponent got lots of creatures in their graveyard. They're fighting off the top of their deck. They're putting a creature in. Simply 3. Don't want it to be. Oh, it is another apparition. They're targeting Dark Confidant, which I'm not sure is where I would go with it. Yeah, they haven't got any good attacks. I'm very surprised they've done that. I would have thought getting the Scoos off the field would have been priority 1, given that it's now a 4/4. And it gains me life. Yeah, a little bit surprised there that my opponent did that, but they may have had good reason. Yeah, good win there. It was looking a little bit sketchy in the mid game. That what's it called? The Archon sort of giving us the business, but combination of Trophy and Liliana and Dark Confidant really showing its value there. Yeah, that got there. So let's see what we can do. So anything that kills a creature wants in. So Brutality, definitely. Golgari Charm, an interesting one. They don't have too many toughness 1 creatures. I guess Flicker Wisp is. Flicker Wisp, Thalia. Oh, okay, yeah, I could see Golgari Charm being a potential. It will definitely cut at least 1 Lily on the draw. We don't need the Spell Bombs, the easy cuts. So let's bring these in, and then Plague Engineer and Kalitas. I think it will cut the Thought Seizes and bring in, yeah, Plague Engineer. Let's split the difference, 1 of each, and go from there. Golgari Charm, an interesting one. Not one I've played around with too much myself, but yeah, Okay, so what do we think of this hand? It's got a lot of threats, so I think we'll keep this. We want to draw into some interaction, really. Opponent has mulliganed to 6. No turn 1 play. Find another land, which isn't the worst. Shock this in and play a Hex Drinker. Opponent might decide to try and path this. Stoneforge Mystic. Getting Batter Skull. Could have done with something that kills Stoneforge Mystic, really. We're happy for this to trade. And then yeah, we're going to play a Dark Confidant, look for some sort of answer to Batter Skull. And as we saw last game, Dark Confidant really doing some work. Okay, so my opponent hasn't got a land, but they can flash in a Batter Skull. Yeah, so we can't really attack. So I think we'll just play a Blooming Marsh, and then we could start levelling up the Hex Drinker, or we could just play 2 more creatures. So we could play Lurrus, but there's nothing in the graveyard, so I don't really like that. We could play Goyf, Hex Drinker, or Hex Drinker Bob, or we could level this up. I think I like playing another Hex Drinker, and then we're going to take a lot of damage from these Bobs, but yeah, we're going to take a lot of damage from these Bobs, but we're going to draw 3 cards a turn. There's a Batter Skull. Worth noting that this has Vigilance. So they are attacking. So we could block with 2 Hex Drinkers. But then if my opponent has a Path to Exile, what do we think of that? So Path is the only thing, really. I think that's fine. I think, yeah, given that we've got 2 Goyfs, I think we're going to double block here. It's a 2-for-1 in favour of my opponent, but I'm kind of happy to gain the tempo back. Yeah, we don't take 4 damage as well. I guess they can return this to their hand. There's another Stoneforge. What are they going to go and get this time? Probably a Sword of Fire and Ice is fairly annoying. They do have a path, so I'm a little surprised they didn't choose to save the Batter Skull with it. But there we go, because now we can, yeah, see what we draw. Ghost Quarter. Okay, so Golgari Charm, definitely not doing us many favours here. They've got a Sword of Fire and Ice, so that's protection from red and blue. So let's play. Let's fetch because of the potential for Leonin Arbiter. Let's go. We've got a swamp in hand, so we're going to get another forest, and then I think we'll Sword of Fire and Ice can deal 2 damage. That's +2/+2. So we either go. I think we're definitely playing Lurrus, and then we're going to play Hex Drinker from the graveyard. and then level it up once. Hexdrink is quite an interesting card. So if my opponent finds a land, is it when it deals combat damage to a player? Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. So they can put the Fire Ice Sword on a creature here. They could put it on Stoneforge, but then I just block every turn with the snake. And it costs a lot of mana to do that. Oh, Apparition, yeah, that's annoying. At least they can't sword us this turn. Oh, they've got Path as well. There's a lot of mana for us to make a Progenitus though. Liliana. We can play a lot of cards here. I think we want to play... I think we want to do a little bit of everything. So we'll go Goyf, Liliana. I think we just discard. Like, when we don't care about killing just a Stoneforge Mystic. Then get rid of the Fire Ice, and then I think, yeah, we leveled this up once before, so we can make this immune to Path to Exile, and it's now a 4/4. So they got rid of the Sword of Fire and Ice. Obviously a Sword of Feast and Famine is really bad for us. Gets protection from black and green. Phyrexian Revoker. Okay, so we can kill that with Golgari Charm. Opponent got 0 cards in hand. That's another Lurus. So yeah, we'll or do we just make this into Progenitus? So it's level 3, it needs 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold up Golgari Charm. Yeah, I think that's better. I probably should have I think this is fine. You probably should have done this slightly differently and held up 2 basics for Golgari Charm in case my opponent Ghost Quarters, because I feel like we may be out of basics. But my opponent probably wants to hold cards. Paying costs. Equipping Batter Skull. To their Skyclave Apparition. Attacking me with Lifelink is a little bit annoying. So we could deal it 4, but then we can't Golgari Charm. We could regenerate my creature. Yeah, okay, we'll take this damage. I mean, we could kill the Revoker and start using my Liliana. I don't actually think this is getting any better. Probably should have done this before combat, I suppose, before damage. But definitely chose the right mode, didn't I? all creatures get -1. Essentially it's just killing the Revoker. Okay, so in this case I think we play the Goyf. Play Lurrus. Play another Hex Drinker. This is pretty good. We don't know what my opponent has in hand, but I think ticking up is better than just killing a Stoneforge Mystic. And then we're going to get in there with my big snake. Yeah, this Hex Drink has been real good in these last 2 matches. Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of this. I mean, we could have blocked the Skyclave, but now we get to double block the Skyclave and then play the Goyf again with Lurrus. And my opponent is having to worry about this Liliana at some point. None of this stuff really has flash without a Ether Vial, so my next 2 turns activating Liliana might just be tick down, tick down. If my opponent, I wouldn't be surprised to see them. I don't know, if they keep drawing cards, I suppose it might be worth ticking up. I mean, we're threatening the ultimate in 2 turns actually, so given that they're drawing cards with these, Lurrus just generates so much value. This is our kind of Bloodbraid Elf, Colligan's Command type card in this deck. See what my opponent has got for us. Thinking about it, paying costs. Okay, so they do have an Apparition, which could take care of the Liliana. They might take care of Lurrus, to be fair. Don't know. Okay, taking care of a Tarmogoyf. Not sure why they're taking care of a Tarmogoyf there. They still don't really have any good attacks, because I will just double block. Yeah, block here and here. 4, 5, 6, yeah. We get a token, and then I can just play Goyfs again. Well, actually I might just play a Hex Drinker again, because you can level it up so many times. So if we play a Hex Drinker, we need to put 8 levels on it, so you can't quite do that. Actually, yeah, I think I'm fine just Inquisitioning my opponent. Get the Arbiter out. Make them sacrifice a creature. Do we play the Goyf? No, we'll play the Hex Drinker. Just such a good mana sink. Yeah, my opponent just concedes to the Hex Drinker. So yeah, that went well. Not much to say about that one really. Lurrus just grinding us over the line. You just get to make so many blocks, and then knowing that you can just buy things back with Lurrus the following turn. And then we were going to put 5 counters on this Hex Drinker. You can make it into you can get this into the mini Progenesis mode next turn. So yeah, happy with those 2 matches, and see you back for round number 3. Okay, round number 3. We're on the play here. Let's see what we get. Yeah, Thoughtseize into Goyf or Bob. I think we'll keep this. It's nice to have the more painless mana base. If this was Jund, you probably have to fetch shock Bob, fetch shock fetch shock Thoughtseize, fetch shock something else. So, at least we are, yeah. You know, then yeah, you do that and then you see burn or something in hand. It's like, oh. Okay, so They've got a Fatal Push, and they've got a Goyf, and they've got an Elf. So we're against Jund. So I think, yeah, Hex Drinkers and Bobs are a bit of a liability in this one because they die to Ren and 6. I think we're going to take the push and then try and just run away with the game with Bob. If we can get a couple of cards out of Bob. Opponent plays Raging Ravine. Okay, Lurus is good. I think we'll just play Ghost Quarter Bob here. We're probably shocking along the line, but preserving our life total. So we really, really don't want to see Ren and 6 here. Inquisition. Sure, that's okay. Probably takes Lurus. Although we can double spell next turn, which is nice. Oh, they drew a Bolt as well. That's annoying. But onwards and upwards. So yeah, we'll fetch Shock now. Double spell. Obviously if we'd known that we might have played slightly differently, but we didn't, so we couldn't. And then yeah, we're kind of out of cards. Opponent finding all the right stuff at all the right times, but that's the way. It's probably a Tarmogoyf. I'd have forgotten Cave, setting up Bloodbraid Elf next turn. Inquisition not really any good for us here, so I think, although we might as well play it, because this only needs 3 to level up. So yeah, we'll see what my opponent's got going on. Yeah, we get to take that, which does grow both of our Goyfs. Let's just level this up. Okay. So yeah, we could do with them whiffing on a Bloodbraid attack, really. Bloodbraid Elf hit. Oh boy, it's Liliana of the Veil. That's a good hit for my opponent. I think we have to sacrifice the Tarmogoyf. If we draw a land, we can kill Liliana with Hex Drinker. Okay, so either a land or a removal spell allows us to kill Liliana. Oh, yeah, I say a land. That's frustrating. So we need to put 5 counters on this. We are at 10, notably. So I'll play this land. I think we want to hold up, well, we need to hold up Ghost Quarter. Yeah, we need to hold up Ghost Quarter to not just die to the Raging Ravine. Obviously another Liliana punishes us, a Maelstrom Pulse punishes us. Okay, Fatal Push. Okay, we're kind of in a rock and a hard place now because we need to both kill the Liliana and kill both of these. So Lurus is probably my best draw. To that end, do we want to sacrifice Ghost Quarter? Because then if we draw Lurus, we can go Lurus, Tarmogoyf. Okay, so we don't sacrifice Ghost Quarter just yet. Trophy. That's actually quite nice because we can, if we trophy Liliana, we die to the Goyfs. If we trophy a Goyf, we die to the Liliana. Right, so we trophy here, trophy here, attack Liliana, we die. Okay, so we're going to put some counters on, just make this big, and then we have to pass the turn, and then if my opponent decides to uptick Lily and be greedy, then we win. Well, we don't win, but we survive. Subject to whatever my opponent's drawn, obviously. Golgari's command. Am I discarding a card? Yeah, discard a card. So we trophy a Goyf. But then my opponent knows, I would imagine. I mean, yeah, they have a pretty obvious play to win the game here, but we'll see if just make sure they do it. Yeah. So that was a bit unfortunate. We took a decent line and then were punished by my opponent drawing the lightning bolt that killed the Bob, and then Bloodbraid Elfing into Liliana. There are a few things there that did well for, we would have been fine, but there we go. So we're going to bring in, definitely Veil of Summer stops there a lot of their removal. We're going to cut some Inquisitions. We don't want that many because it usually gets into top decking like we saw there, and it's just a horrible top deck. Might just cut all of them, like maybe keep one in. Brutality, don't really want that. Goyf and Scoos, all these cards are great. Bob and Hexy can be liabilities. What about Spell Bomb? Yeah, I think that's fine. Spell Bomb deals with, they're probably running Croxer, Golgari's command, all of those things, and it cantrips at the end of the day. Let's see where we are. We would like to play first. Yeah, hand's good. Got two Bobs in, got a Hex Drinker. I mean, yeah, if my opponent finds Ren and 6, we are a little bit under the gun. But we'll wait and see. Opponent has mulligan to 6. Blooming Marsh. Hex Drinker. Go. Opponent might have brought in Plague Engineer as well. Okay, opponent left in discard. See what they take here. They take a Dark Confidant. Okay, so we draw another land, which isn't really what we want, but play a Bob. At least now, if my opponent plays Ren and 6, they kill one of these creatures and then the other one kills them. Really don't want my opponent to have something like Fatal Push or Lightning Bolt, or Double Fatal Push, or something like that. Obviously left in some discard. They take the Plague Engineer. red, so probably lightning bolt. Yeah, bolt the Hex Drinker. I am a little bit surprised at that. I guess, yeah. So I'll attack with Bob. I would have bolted the Bob there probably. I guess they're worried that they wouldn't be able to kill Hex Drinker. They might be trying to Liliana this turn, so we definitely want to play a creature. They know I've got Ghost Quarter, so I think we'll just level this up. And then pass the turn. Maybe just we should have... I don't know. If this is Liliana... Renin 6 is probably the worst draw. Okay. So we'll kill Renin 6 with Bob. Opponent may have another one. We'll play a Peatland. I think I'll Ghost Quarter. Well, I might Ghost Quarter. Play this. Do we Ghost Quarter now? If they've got Decay, we don't want to give them more mana. Don't really want to see another Renin 6. We could have Ghost Quarter their Mountain. Drawing a card. Okay, so they're now out of green mana. So let's sacrifice Peatland to draw a card, and then we'll spell bomb my opponent to draw another card. We're drawing lots of cards here. Abrupt Decay is a nice pickup. We'll cast Mishra's Bauble. Bauble my opponent. They are finding a land. So we could Ghost Quarter away this, but I don't think that's right. I could double Ghost Quarter. Playing Ghost Quarter there might have been wrong, but we might want to double Ghost Quarter. Okay, so Hex Drinker. So my opponent's drawing a land. Liliana would be very annoying. Yeah, maybe we should have Ghost Quartered there. They're going to have to shock though. Okay, so they go and get this land. Season Pyromancer. That is a-okay. Yeah, we're not Ghost Quartering now. We don't want a Fatal Push really either. So we will decay this. Opponent at 6. Well, Kalitas isn't a bad draw. Gonna shock this in. Play Hex Drinker. Play Kalitas. So you go. Not attacking with Bob. Bob has been really good in this match. Good old Kalitas here. They might just have something that kills this. Okay, so they can kill Hex Drinker. Finally can kill Bob, but they can't do anything about this Kalitas, who is a monster. Well, we'll attack. Gain some life. Hissing Quagmire. Pass the turn. Inquisition. Just push this Elemental, I think. Maybe we could trophy their land. They'd go and get Swamp, Forest even, but If they've found a Seasoned Pyromancer, we don't want to give them more mana. Okay, so I think yeah, end of turn we'll Ghost Quarter their Stomping Ground, take them off some mana. We could Ghost Quarter their Mountain as well. No, I think giving them one of each colour is fine. Another Kalitas is a little frustrating, but they know we've got this, but we don't want to lose this to a Colorgan's Command, so we'll activate Hissing Quagmire. Yeah, game's over. Okay, so there, that was all Dark Confidant, pretty much. Yeah, all Dark Confidant. So, do we want to change anything on the play, on the draw even? It's tempting to bring in more discard just because my opponent, just because of Wrenn and 6 essentially. So we could bring in Inquisitions or Thoughtseize. But I don't think we necessarily want to do that. Like Plague and maybe instead of Plague Engineer. Because what does Plague Engineer kill? They're not running Bobs. They are running the tokens and it does trade. It came down to top decking last time. I think this is fine. I am surprised my opponent valued Hexdrinker so highly, but I guess they get. I guess my opponent paying for the long game with it. They know that a lot of their removal kills Dark Confidant, whereas if I level up Hexdrinker, it just doesn't do anything. They just can't do anything about it. This is a bit of a weird hand. I think we're going to keep. We don't really want to mulligan. It's a bit odd because drawing land isn't great. Do we get... I think I'm going to... I don't think the one card information from my... from looking at the top of their library is worth it. Do you want to fetch Shock? I'm going to just get a basic, and then if we draw Fatal Push, we can push their turn 2. Oh, we draw another land. Don't want another one of these games. So if this is Wrenn and 6, we're in trouble. Okay, no Wrenn and 6. Oh, crikey. Do we play... I think we do play Bob. If they Liliana, that's very annoying. I mean, or if they kill this in any way, I suppose. But that's always going to be the case. They're always going to have kill spells. No push or bolt, or they might just be waiting to Liliana or Wrenn and 6. Yeah, it's Wrenn and 6. This is so bad for us. Yeah. Oh Christ! Like we just can't catch a break with these. I haven't drawn any spells yet. What are we naming with this? I think we name Elemental. I think this becomes an Elemental, but we don't want. It's the tokens made by Seasoned Pyromancer that we're targeting with that, really. The fact that it hits Raging Ravine is gravy. But yeah, we've been very unlucky. We're only running 22 lands. We've drawn no spells yet. That was our turn 3, so we've had 4 draws, including Mishra's Bauble. Not finding a land there is really, really annoying. Liliana would be pretty backbreaking here as well. Croxa we don't care about at the moment. My opponent has so much good stuff they could have. Anything that kills this Colorgan's Command is actually the best of, it's the best time they could do that. We just need to draw spells. trophy is interesting. I think we'll try and... there's no point in doing that really, because if my opponent has some sort of discard spell, we're going to want to play trophy anyway really. See what my opponent gets. We're probably going to trophy this Renin 6, but depends what my opponent has. At least it's a spell we can cast. Does my opponent just have nothing? So yeah, we'll trophy here, kill their threat. So trophy at this stage of the game is okay, because yeah, my opponent hasn't got too much. You know, they've already got enough mana. Fatal Push is nice, is a nice find. Bauble. So we'll bauble myself, and then we can fetch if we don't like what we find. Probably should have done this. Tarmogoyf's fine. We'll play the Catacombs, but we won't crack it. Okay, yeah. Although my opponent's probably got a million kill spells in hand. Hopefully they just activate Raging Ravine. Could be a Bloodbraid Elf. No, it's Raging Ravine, so we'll let it attack and then push. So yeah, we're going to push here. I suppose if my opponent has Renin 6 I can get it back. So we will now fetch. Don't want to draw any more lands, please. Again, I'm going to. My opponent definitely has at least, you know, bolt, push, decay. We don't know what's in my opponent's hand. So we find 2 threats, which is pretty good. I think, yeah, we'll deploy them both. There's a Goyf. Here's Scavenging Ooze. So we're not going to use my... we could use my Scoos now, actually. I'm going to bolt my Scoos. Okay, yeah, so we will use this opportunity to exile... we'll exile Raging Ravine for the purposes of a future Renin 6, essentially. Maybe we should have just played Scoos there. Although, are there enough creatures in the bin? I could have eaten 2 creatures and it would have survived a bolt. So we don't... we're getting to the stage where we don't want my opponent to have anything, but obviously they're always going to have something. A creature is probably best for me, although not Bloodbraid Elf. Hopefully, I mean, we need to find something really good. Something like a Lurus, Liliana. This is the stage against Jund where we just lack the real heavy lifters, like Raging Ravine, Bloodbraid Elf. So trophy is an okay draw. It answers a threat. We're going to keep Swamp in hand in case of an opponent's Kolaghan's command, making us discard. We will play out a Swamp now. We really don't want to find any more lands. We haven't drawn many spells this game. Yeah, we want to find Lurus. Kalitas is okay. My opponent keeping a fetch land, which implies they probably have Fatal Push. Seasoned Pyromancer is very annoying. Yeah, Seasoned Pyromancer essentially draws them 2 cards. I've been really impressed with this in Jund. Yeah, looting away 2 basic lands. There's a Renin 6. So do we want to trophy something, and if so, what? Renin 6 is the quicker clock. guess we can kill this more easily. Yeah, I think we're going to trophy Ren and 6. My opponent probably doesn't have any basic lands left. So yeah, let's go ahead and use our mana here. Ren and 6 does eventually win the game, and they can make tokens with Seasoned Pyromancer. So yeah, we really want to find a Lurrus here. Oh, Ghost Quarter. We will play the Ghost Quarter. Opponent doesn't have any basics left, but there's no point in trying to take them off stuff here. I think my opponent is holding all the answers. Okay, so that is a Lurrus. So highest upside is playing this. Bauble draws us a card. I think Tarmogoyf, because Tarmogoyf dodges the most removal. So if my opponent's got Lightning Bolt in hand, or finds a Ren and 6, we could play a Skoos. Skoos isn't the worst. How big is Goyf? Goyf's a 5/6. I think we'll just play the Goyf. Yeah. Okay, so we'll play Goyf, and I'm fully expecting one of these, well, probably both of these, to die. They do have a bolt, and I bet they have a push as well. Yeah, so 2 removal spells, but at least we get, you know, that was a 2-for-1 in our favour. We're not under a massive clock. Opponent's got 4 cards left in hand. So wouldn't mind finding another Lurrus. Don't know what my opponent's got in hand. Hissing Quagmire's not, you know, at least if we're going to draw a land, it's a creature land. Opponent keeps swinging in for 2. I think we will end up blocking this, I think. Opponent's got 5 cards in hand. Deploying something. Okay, so that's a Tarmogoyf, so now hissing. Okay. That's a good draw. Let's see what we can get with this. Let's sacrifice, make my opponent sacrifice a creature. I'll probably sacrifice the Pyromancer. So yeah, this isn't too bad. We can Ghost Quarter my opponent's Raging Ravine. Okay, so activating Raging Ravine here. Liliana is obviously a good find. So what was this attacking? So opponent could have a removal spell here, but we've got to go for it. I think we're dead if we don't. My opponent's got. So we could block here and keep my Liliana alive. Don't mind that. I think that's fine. Take some damage. I'm surprised this didn't go at Liliana as well. Hopefully there is a thing before damage, isn't there? Yeah. So we'll kill this. We'll take 6, and yeah, we're happy to keep the Liliana around. And then we get to keep our Hissing Quagmire around as well. Maybe that's wrong, but I feel that's okay. Yeah. Oh, Plague Engineer is going to finish off the Quagmire. Yeah, okay, sure. Okay, I think we're in trouble. Yeah, we're really in trouble here. Yeah, we draw a basic forest. Yep, GG's. We drew a lot of lands there, which is somewhat unfortunate. You know, that into that would have been really nice, but there we go. I think we do struggle a little bit against Jund here. But yeah, onwards and upwards. See you again for round number 4. Okay, welcome back for round number 4. We're on the draw, and our hand is okay. I think we'll keep it in the blind game 1. We'd like an interactive spell on turn 1, really. But it's got Bob into Liliana or Goyf into Liliana. Which we like. Okay, Spiral Canal. Okay, so this is it prowess. So we would like to see a fatal push on top, please. No, another land isn't exactly what we want. Let's play a land and pass. So we're going to play Goyf instead of Dark Confidant here. Take 2. No Storming Entity, which is somewhat of a blessing. Overgrown Tomb. Okay. So Goyf blocks Swift Spear fairly well. Thoughtseize is not really what we want again. We'll play Forest in case we find a Scavenging Ooze or similar. So, see what my opponent has. So they can bolt the Goyf. Maybe playing Goyf is a little loose there because it does die to Lightning Bolt at the moment. But any damage they're pointing at my creatures, I suppose. They are attacking with everything. If I block here, if they bolt me, the Goyf won't die. They'd have to bolt me twice. If they do that and I don't block, I think I'm dead anyway. So we're gonna make a block here. Manamorphose is not really what we wanted to see. But you know, we're saving a lot of damage from this Swift Spear. So yeah, Lava Dart is fairly annoying. Yeah, this is saving us a fair chunk of damage. You know, saving us 3 life and my opponent having to do things pre-combat, or pre-damage, which is nice. We are going to lose the Goyf. Probably going to untap and Liliana Edict my opponent. Soulscar Mage. Okay, so yeah, well, Liliana. So we could tick up, but I think, you know, my opponent's got a Lava Dart in the bin, so that's a spell anyway. Opponent's played lands every turn, so yeah, there's probably nothing we can do. We had quite a slow draw. Maybe throwing away the Goyf so cheaply was wrong. Probably should have played the Bob if we were going to block anyway. So we're kind of hoping that my opponent throws something Liliana's way. And we'd love to draw a removal spell. Okay, so they do throw a lava dart. So we're going to take 2, 4, 8 damage. Not ideal. Maelstrom Pulse. Oh, wait, I don't think we're running Maelstrom Pulse. Okay, yeah, we just die here to this Sprite Dragon. Never saw any of our removal spells, unfortunately. So let's sideboard. So Bob is a liability in this matchup. We want Kalitas for the lifelink. We want Dures's Collective Brutality. Don't want the Thought Seizers. Lily's great. All the removals great. Hex Drinker is a little awkward with Lava Dart. I think that's fine. Nihil Spell Bomb. They weren't running Luris, so that possibly means they're on. Oh no, they're on Stormwing. Plague Engineer's interesting. The only thing Golgari Charm kills is the Sprite Dragons, but that's only after combat. Sorry, that's only before they've cast any spells, so I don't think we want that. I think Plague Engineer kills the dragons as well, to be fair. I think this is fine. Spell Bombs don't really do anything. I guess they hit Lava Darts, but is that worth it? I think we'll take one out for another Plague Engineer. And 4-minute Mage is interesting. Take them off blue. Is there anything? It's either that or the other Plague Engineer. I think that's fine. So in theory, I should have a better matchup here against Jund. I think going forward, I might be more on Collective Brutality because this matchup does seem to be quite popular at the moment. Awkward hand because we've got a Shock and then Inquisition. But I think that's fine. I think we'll keep. We've got a Luris. We haven't got a threat, but we've got Inquisition. We've got 2 decent discard spells. Bauble can draw us into stuff. And then we've got a removal spell and a good hitter in terms of Luris. Opponent deciding what to do with their opening hand. See what they get. Okay, they've kept 7 as well. So we are going to shock here because we want to Inquisition away a potential turn 1 creature. No, it's correct to Bauble first. See what, just get the maximum information we can. They're drawing a light up the stage, so that's probably what we'll duress away on turn 2. So they've got 1 land. So yeah, we're going to take this Soulscar Mage. They're not finding it. My opponent isn't finding a land off the top. We can't kill the Soulscar Mage yet. So yeah, take the Soulscar Mage. We get to draw from Bauble as well, which is nice, and Bauble obviously good with Luris. Opponent plays Scalding Tarn, probably going to Burst Lightning us end of turn. Okay, so ooh, Tarmogoyf. I think we want to play Tarmogoyf rather than trying to duress. Yes. How big is Tarmogoyf? 4/5. I think that's fine. So we'll do that. We could duress first, but I think Tarmogoyf's yeah, Tarmogoyf's really good in this matchup. Red base decks have historically always struggled to deal with Tarmogoyfs. Just the big butt of 5 toughness here. They might have to point a couple of spells at it. They've got an Ether Gust, which can do work. And if we Inquisition, we may in fact, when we duress, sorry, we may in fact choose to take that. Opponent finds the land, so they might choose to Ether Gust here. Wouldn't be too surprised. Yeah, looking like that way. Well, there's Liliana, which isn't too bad. We'll attack. See if my opponent wants to Gust, which it looks like they do. We'll put it on top. We're happy to happy to put a Goyf on top and then duress my opponent. So with this in hand, we're just going to take the multi for one. We're going to take the light up the stage, and then when next turn comes, if they only play a Sprite Dragon, we can Liliana it away. Looking like a Sprite Dragon. So yeah, we're going to play Liliana now. Goyf is a consideration, but my opponent's got quite a lot in hand. I think I'd rather get the Liliana down, and then we can start pressuring their hand. If they want to throw a Burst Lightning or a Lava Dart at Lily, that's fine. But given that they're not drawing lands, yeah, I'm not surprised to see a Lava Dart at Liliana there. Okay, so if I had a Ghost Quarter, you know, we'll just play Tarmogoyf. He's a Tarmogoyf is now a 6/7. That's pretty big. Worth keeping this trophy for a potential Soulscar Mage. Soulscar Mage helps them deal with Tarmogoyf. Darting me, which probably means this is light up the stage. Don't want to use my trophy too cheaply here. We could use the trophy here, but we really don't want to give my opponent too many lands. Okay, so we find a land. Let's attack with Tarmogoyf. And then, yeah, I think it's time to play Lurrus. And then we'll play a Bauble. We're fairly happy if my opponent decides they want to Burst Lightning Lurrus. We'll look at the top of my library. There's another Tarmogoyf on top, so we'll draw that. Rather than fetching it away, we'll take another 6/7 for 2 mana. Burst Lightning Lurrus, wouldn't be surprised. Okay, Sprite Dragon Burst Lightning is probably on the cards. Yep. Okay, that's fine. So we have the option to trophy here. Opponent only got one card in hand. I think we're fine to wait. If they end up Lava Darting loads, okay, I think I am going to use the trophy here. Opponent's rather going for it. Sacrificing lots of lands to get lots of prowess triggers. So yeah, we will trophy the Sprite Dragon just because it's so much harder to block. Go and get basic forest. It's a little bit awkward, but I think my opponent probably would have done all that. If they had a spell to play, they probably would have sacrificed those first so they could play an untapped Spirebluff Canal. Yeah, obviously the other reason to trophy the Sprite Dragon rather than the Swift Spear is the Sprite Dragon, the counters don't go away. Light up the stage would be awkward for my opponent, but it's not forthcoming. Another trophy is pretty good. Play another 6/7. these are big goifs. I've got 2 cards in hand. Can't think of anything too crazy that just kills us here. Sprite Dragon's pretty good. Will we see an attack? Probably. If they attack with Sprite Dragon, we can just trophy the Swift Spear. Yeah, we'll trophy the Swift Spear here. My opponent gets a land. I've only got 1 card in hand. And no blockers, so the Goifs get over the line. Okay. Don't think there's anything we want to change. Ship it straight back. Yeah, Spellbomb not really that great, but is there anything we could bring in instead? I'm eyeing up Golgari Charm, but I just can't see it being good. Or Fulminator Mage, but our curve has already been made higher by the addition of Kalitas and Plague Engineer. And we've lost a lot of cheaper spells. Yeah, I think we don't want to raise it anymore. Yeah. Spellbomb at least cycles, can deal with lava darts. Okay, let's see what we have. Looking for Goifs, Scavenging Oozes, Collective Brutalities, Duresses, Inquisitions. Lily's okay. Very land heavy with no threat. Opponents kept 7. So we can go Decay into Liliana, search for something with Bauble. I just don't feel like this is going to be quick enough with my opponent keeping 7. I think we might want to think about mulliganing this. Yeah, it's close, but yeah, this is better. We will keep, and we'll bottom. Oh, it's difficult to know what to bottom here. The Ghost Core isn't really doing anything, but it's good to play a land on turn 2. We definitely want Inquisition Duress. We definitely want Goif and Skoos, but Bauble digs us closer to lands. Oh, this is hard. Could it be the Ghost Quarter? Ghost Quarter is not helping me cast any of these spells. Is that wrong? I suppose Ghost Quarter can Ghost Quarter my own land later if we need to. Maybe it's just Skoos. I haven't actually got any kill spells. God, this is tough. Let's get rid of the Skoos. We haven't got enough green mana to really make Skoos effective. We need to find a green mana to cast Tarmogoyf on turn 2. So we could do with fading a very aggressive start from my opponent. Well, that looks like we have, potentially. No creature on turn 1 as always. They put 1 on top, 1 on bottom. Double Bauble. Okay, so we've got 2 redraws, which is nice. So we'll see what they put on top. Okay, so they put a creature on top. Annoyingly, our first hand might have been okay. Okay, so they've got the Stormwing entity. They've got loads of creatures. Bolt can not kill Goif, which is nice. Although it can in combination with Swift Spear. I think it might be taking the Bolt here. Although Bolt is takeable by Duress if we don't find a land. They might want to go double creature. Maybe it's just the Swift Spear. So Duress can take... So if I take Swift Spear, their next turn is a little bit awkward. If I just take Bolt, they go creature, creature, but both the creatures then die to Goyf. I'm going to take the Bolt and hope to draw a land. We'll wait to pop this other bauble until we can see what my opponent's drawing. Plague Engineer, not really what we want. Opponent plays another Spy Bluff Canal. Probably goes creature, creature. I can't cast Stormwing. There's the Mage. Got 2 draws at my second green source here. Taking 1 damage on turn 2 isn't the worst. See what my opponent's drawing. Another Storming Entity, so that's not too bad. Okay, so we're drawing Ghost Quarter. That is not the best. So my opponent is drawing Storming Entity. But do we want to push or do we want to duress? I think we want to duress because we don't want my opponent to get Stormwing Entity out. Take the Serum Visions. And then pass the turn. So my opponent only got creatures and we're only getting hit for 3 damage this turn. There's Sprite Dragon. Opponent finding it hard to cast these Stormwings. So if I can at least kill... Oh yeah, Plague Engineer's nice here. Find another swamp, which isn't ideal. But we can Ghost Quarter our own land if we need. So we'll play the Ghost Quarter in case we need to do that. And then we'll just cast this Engineer, which is actually pretty good. You know, it blocks. Let's choose Dragon. And it kills the Sprite Dragon, which is nice. We definitely block here. We are definitely taking this block. Because then we've got a fatal push. Opponent got a land. And no attacks. Oh, Liliana of the Veil as well. Do we cast Liliana? I think so. Rather than cast a Tarmogoyf. Yeah, we're going to sacrifice because my opponent hasn't got... And then we're not blocking. So this Ghost Quarter could go and get us a basic swamp to kill this turn if we need to. Okay, opponent getting another land. I'd like to fade Manamorphose really from my opponent. Right. Okay, so this turn we will Ghost Quarter if we need to. Okay, so because it comes in untapped, doesn't it? Basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, yeah. So we'll tap one of these 4 mana, and then we'll Ghost Quarter it to get green. Then we can play the Goyf with that. Nice little trick there with Ghost Quarter. And then we'll tick up. I'll discard a Hex Drinker. So yeah, we're going to want this Fatal Push to kill Soulscar Mage. Elemental. It's just an elemental. Could attack. Yeah, I don't think these Soulscar Mages is attacking into my Tarmogoyf. Happy to deal 2 here. We've got the Fatal Push as well. Opponent got 2 in hand. So we should be able to Edict away a Stormwing Entity. Hard cast light up the stage, which is fine-ish. Oh, yeah, they're good ones for... Yeah, that's fine by us. So our last card is Fatal Push. Yeah, stranding these Stormwing entities in my opponent's hand is obviously good for us. Although they can bolt Stormwing next turn. So we can get a land, which isn't too bad. We get a Stormwing out of my opponent's hand. Attack with all. Opponent goes to 11. So, okay, no, we're not going to get to Edict it because we're going to have, yeah, they're going to lightning bolt the Liliana and then Stormwing from exile. So, would like to find a Liliana would be ideal here. Assassin's Trophy is fine. Opponent's scrying 2. They put 2 on the bottom, so let's see what we've got. I mean, that's not the worst. Guess we'll attack first. Yeah, we're attacking with everything here. Just need to clock my opponent. If they want to trade with this, that's fine. We crash him for 8. Then we'll fire off this Inquisition. We know one of the cards is a Stormwing entity. Take the Serum Visions, that stops them potentially, you know, it's a prowess trigger. Okay, we're at 16. Opponent bottomed with the Scries. Manamorphose is a good draw for the opponent. Because now they can cast Stormwing entity. So they've got 2 Stormwing entities. But they will need to block. They've put 1 on top, 1 on the bottom. We've got some good draws here. Assassin's Trophy wins us the game. Collective Brutality wins us the game. Sadly, it's another land. Opponent has to block the Tarmogoyf here. Yeah, we just keep swinging in. Puts my opponent to 1. We really want to see a land there. What's my opponent got in hand? Another mana. Bedlam Reveler. Crikey. Okay. That's not great. Could have done without that, really. Oh, my opponent forgetting that I have Plague Engineer there. Naming Dragon. They cast their Sprite Dragon into my Plague Engineer. Opponent can't attack. So yeah, we're just going to crash in again. We've got 2 lethal attackers. Okay. And has my opponent got a spell? No. Doesn't look that way, so we'll play another Tarmogoyf. Another 6/7. We did have lots of spells that killed my opponent there. We had Assassin's Trophies, Collective Brutality. Actually, that might be it. Maybe it wasn't too many. I think Liliana the Veil does it. Yeah, Liliana the Veil did it there. Lab stage. Yeah, game over, I think. GG's. Yeah, excellent. So doing well there. Tarmogoyf's proving excellent. Yeah, we Inquisitions and the rest of them. I think it was all to do with trapping those Stormwing entities. My opponent kind of stumbled on mana for the first few turns. But yeah, great to get that. So we're 3-1. Let's go for the 4-1. See you for round number 5. Okay, round number 5 with Black Green Rock. We are on the play for round number 5. Yeah, hand's great. Thoughtseize into Bob into Liliana. Lures of the Dream Den. So probably Prowess, or well, yeah, Black Red Shadow is my immediate thought, but other ones include Burn, Mill, Devoted Company. Anything else I'm missing for Lurus? It could be something else entirely, of course. Could be something like Jund with a Lurus. It could be yeah. Guess we'll find out as soon as we Thoughtseize. Let's Thoughtseize, and we find Hardened Scales. So nothing we thought. I think we're just going to take the namesake card. We could take their only threat, but that does die to Fatal Push. Okay, so this looking like one where Golgari Charm could be good. The Ozolith is very good. Hangabout Walker is their only threat, but they can always top deck another threat. They haven't got a turn 1. Well, they have got a turn 1 play. Could be Hangabout. Hangabout Walker is just so hard to deal with because it makes loads of Thopters. This is a hard one. Yeah, I think I'll just make them top deck another threat. So they're going to go wastes into the Ozolith, I would imagine. Oh no, of course they play Scales, given that we didn't take it. Okay, so we are getting to do some good work. So we're sending Bob in. Hopefully draw us some more interaction. Got Fatal Push for their first creature. Okay, another Llanowar Race. 2, 4. Oh, okay, that's a bit annoying, but find a land with Bob, which is pretty nice. Okay, so I think this is just, we're not going to Liliana just yet. We're going to get a Swamp, Inquisition my opponent, stop them Ozolithing. Okay, Animation Module is actually possibly better. Yeah, Animation Module. We'll cast Spell Bomb, and then we'll look to push there before the Ozolith comes down. Oh no, we want to push now, because otherwise they can tap it. So we'll attack, and then if they block, we'll just push. Because we're going to push anyway, we might as well try and get 2 damage in. Yeah. Yeah. Reason we're doing this now, they can tap Hangabout Walker to put another counter on it, which we don't want because then it makes more Thopters. And also if they play the Ozolith, and then we kill Hangabout Walker, all of the counters go onto the Ozolith. Okay, there's the Ozolith. Attacking with the Thopters. Dark Confidant reveals Fatal Push, which is nice, and Lurus, which is also very nice. So we'll attack with Bob, making sure. I've only got 1 card in hand. No, actually, I kind of want to play Lurus here and hold up a push, I think. Just because Liliana would make us discard, and we've got good cards in hand. Opponent hasn't got a land. Opponent is attacking. We go to 12. So if my opponent does nothing else, we'll no Hardened Scales. So yeah, we're going to fetch. get a swamp, and then spellbomb my opponent, paying a black to draw a card, because then we can cast spellbomb from the graveyard next turn. Tarmogoyf's, yeah, that's reasonable. So I think we're just getting a load of stuff down here. Play a Verdant Catacombs. It's great that we do gain life with Lurus, actually. That's really strong, gaining life back with Lurus when we lose it with Bob. We're back up to a healthy 12. We'll each discard a card. And then I think we will play the... so we either play Goyf or we play Spellbomb Hold Up Push. How afraid are we of whatever they can top deck? So they've got 2 Hardened Scales, so they could top deck a Ballista. But yeah, I think we're just going to play Goyf. Yeah, I think this is fine. Opponent struggling for mana. They find a Blinkmoth Nexus, which is fine by me. They could put Lurus in their hand. Yep, opponent just gives it up. They could attack Liliana there, but then they haven't got any blockers. They might even know we've got Fatal Push in hand, so yeah, a good showing against Hardened Scales there. So, what do we want against Hardened Scales? Plague Engineer seems really strong. Golgari Charm seems really strong. Potentially Fulminator Mage, potentially another Ghost Quarter, potentially these cards. Bad. Spellbomb doesn't do anything. Liliana's not that effective. Decay Trophy, etc. we really want. So we're only interested in one more card. Thoughtseers and Inquisition, they did come out of the gates quite quickly. I think we'll cut a couple of Thoughtseers and bring in let's bring in a Fulminator Mage for the so land destruction is for the Inkmoth Blinkmoth Nexus. I think do we want a Collective Brutality to kill something? Oh, Kalitas is very good actually because it stops their replacement effects. Yeah, so if they've got the modular triggers, if they don't get them because if their creature doesn't die, it's exiled instead with Kalitas. Okay, so on the draw, obviously we've got 1 lander, but it can cast 3 spells in my hand. Then we've got some decent follow-up. Well, what do we think about this? We've got 2 looks to hit another land. The land we've got is Painless. Are we going to risk a 1 lander? I think we might be. You know, it can cast all our spells. We've got decent follow-up. We'd love to hit another land. We've got 21 left out of 53. So what's that about? Between 50% and... So each turn the chance that we hit a land is like 21 out of 50, so it's just under half. Between a half and a third. So the chance that we don't hit it is like 60%, so more likely not to hit it, I think. I think we'll keep. Yeah. My opponent's mulling to 5 as well. I guess this hand is quite weak to Walking Ballista, but opponent's mulled to 5. Pendlehaven, Hardened Scales, okay. Worth noting that Golgari Charm, there it is, also kills Hardened Scales. turn 1. Okay, so we'd really like to see a untapped land here. I mean, we'll settle for any land, but like another Bluing Marsh is my best draw. Moth Nexus and pass. Overgrown Tomb will do. So what are we attacking? What are we doing with my mana? It's very tempting to just hold up here. We could hold up push and charm. Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't think we need to get another threat down here, because we're definitely going to have something to do, is the thing. I guess we don't really want to use Golgari Charm to just kill 1 for 1, but Welding Jar is just regenerate target artifact. So interestingly, this doesn't get around Golgari Charm because this is -1/-1, which gets around regeneration, and we will be destroying an enchantment. Outbound Worker. Okay, so I think we're just going to Golgari Charm here. Let my opponent have a 1/1. Opponent could have Veil of Summer. If they do, they decide not to use it. Okay, so I think we're going attacking here with this Hex Drinker. We happily take this trade. Oh, my opponent can give the worker +1/+2. Yeah, this might have been a bit silly. They can give it +1/+2 here with Pendelhaven. If they do that, I will push. Okay, opponent not blocking. Yeah, so that was a little bit silly on my part. Opponent could give this +1/+2, but I think that would have been okay. I can then push and then. So we're just going to play the other Hex Drinker and hold up a Fatal Push. Welding Jar, a little bit annoying. Oh, my opponent does only have 1 card in hand. So we're going to cash in our Fatal Push here at some point. So I'm just putting Lurrus in their hand. Okay, so they have a Lurrus. Okay, so we're going to try and Fatal Push here. Okay, so they are regenerating, which is okay. We might be finding a land. More Lurrus isn't exactly what we want. We are going to get in with the snakes. Oh yeah, Lurrus buying back Welding Jar is a little frustrating. So let's play a Bob and say go. Yeah, do not want to see Walking Ballista. Pew pew pew. Kill all these chaps. I want to find another land at some point, obviously. Black. Okay, fatal pushing the Dark Confidant. But if that stops my opponent playing Lurrus, I'm not too disheartened. Let's find a land for Fulminator Mage here is pretty okay. Bauble, not really what we want. Yeah, we'll see what my opponent's drawing. Another Fatal Push is a bit annoying. Do we attack? We can't attack very well because this will just trade. So I think we're just going to cast a Scoos, and then I think that'll just get Fatal Pushed. No, because 1, it's not worth. Maybe it would have been worth dealing 2 damage, but I think I'm fine here. Have they got another fatal push? Green black trophy. Trophy's excellent. I'd take a trophy all day here. Could be decay. Oh, dismember. Okay, sure. So I get to draw a card, which is a trophy, which isn't too bad. They've got a fatal push. Three mana. Here's Lurus. And they've got Welding Jar. Okay. There's a land. So yeah, I think, yeah, we're going to attack now. Opponent at 10. If my opponent wants to throw the Arcbound Worker and sacrifice the Welding Jar, we're happy with that. Opponent goes to 6, and then we have to trophy here. We can't let them keep playing Welding Jars, etc. from the graveyard. And then next turn we'll be able to lure us. Opponent does have a fatal push in hand. We've got 2 lures in hand. Okay. That's fine. I guess we probably should have done that in their turn, but yeah, not worth it in case they have something like Veil of Summer. 4 mana, Ballista. Yeah, that's pretty good against us. They'll probably just kill the snake. Yeah, how are we going to get through that Ballista? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them just chomp the snake. Kalitas. Okay, so we'll attack with the snake. We're happy to take this trade. I doubt they'll block. They might just ping here, but we're happy for them to ping because then we can play Lurus. They're at 6. So we want to play Lurus here, get back a bauble. My opponent has to spend a lot of resources killing it with Ballista. We could play Fulminator Mage here. Okay, that's fine. So there we go, Lurus. Cast a bauble. We'll wait until my opponent's turn, just in case they're running Thoughtseize or anything like that. Let's see what my opponent's drawing. Lanoir Reborn. Okay, so Graft. Okay, sure. So they've drawn a land, which is fine. We don't really want them to find any more creatures. They could put a counter on Ballista and then kill Lurus. So they are attacking me with both. I think I'm fine not blocking. Maybe I should have blocked given that I've got another Lurus. I guess they could, if I block, they could regenerate and then shoot Lurus. Yeah, I think I'm fine not blocking. I get to attack back. Okay, if they're spending the entire turn putting a counter on Ballista and killing Lurus, I think that's fine with us. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So we get to draw some cards. If we hit an untapped land, we are slamming Kalitas. Yep. would you like to graft onto my Kalitas opponent? I don't think you do. Yeah, so Kalitas stops this. Normally when this dies it gives its +1/+1 counter to another creature. Kalitas means that their creatures do not die, they instead get exiled. So no +1/+1 counters for you. 2 cards in my opponent's hand. Yep, didn't think there would be any attacks there. Yeah, I'm just going to swing in with Kalitas. See. Yeah, that's fine. Maybe we should have played Fulminator Mage. A double block. Okay, didn't see that coming, but this is fine. We make 2 zombies here. They'll give it +1/+2. Okay, so I can't kill it. But I gain 3 life. Okay, yeah, that's fair. But this is fine, I'll make a zombie. Yeah. I should have killed this, really. Should have ordered blockers slightly differently. But again, I'm happy to trade 1 for 1 at this point. We'll gain 3 life in the process, and we'll make a zombie. Oh, they get to regenerate it as well. Yeah, okay, so we don't make a zombie. But again, my opponent is sacrificing quite a lot of stuff here. But that's reasonable. Play out the Blooming Marsh. I think we'll Inquisition, just see what my opponent's working with. What have they got? Okay, 2 hexproof givers, so we can't play Fulminator Mage now. Let's play Lurus. Could have Lurus into Hex Drinker there. Okay, maybe I navigated that turn not so great. We'd quite like to see what they draw, but we'll do that in their turn. Another Arcbound Worker, sure. Yeah, so probably should have thought about that attack, should have played Fulminator Mage first. But I think that's fine. Okay. Okay. Yeah, 1 flying attack. Another bauble and Inquisition. We'll take the Inquisition. We can cast stuff from the graveyard as well, which is great. I expect to see Snakeskin Veil. And we can Fulminator Mage. Yeah, we can cast a lot of stuff from the graveyard here. Okay, sure. So at least this means that our... So we're going to cast a bauble. We'll play a Fulminator Mage. We're going to do this right now. Yeah, so they can't put a counter on here because otherwise they'll animate this and put they could put some counters. No, they can't. What we're saying. I'm going to do this now in case they draw another vial or anything. And then see what my opponent's draw step is. Sacrifice an artifact, proliferate. That's pretty good, but I think it's going to want to get a threat down. And we're drawing 2 cards a turn now, or more realistically we are playing stuff from the graveyard. Okay, trophy, that's pretty good. We could trophy a creature. We could try and attack, and if we attack with all, and then we can trophy something. Definitely want to use use Lurus first. So let's get a Bob. There's a Bob. So I think we're fine attacking with everything. Maybe just the Hex Drinker, to be fair. Like, we're winning this Lurus battle. We're happy for them to block here. And we can trophy. Put another counter on. Okay, we're grinding out here. Opponent's at 4. We're drawing 3 cards a turn or whatever. One with Bob, an extra one with Lurus and Bauble. We've got a removal spell. Yeah, my opponent just concedes. Excellent news. Okay, well, we managed to take down a league 4-1 with black-green rock. Let's just have a look at the list. So yeah, deck felt really good actually. A lot less pain in your mana base, gives you a better prowess matchup. We lost to Jund, which was annoying, but yeah, definitely something I want to explore a bit more. Golgari Charms are really interesting. Yeah, love me some Dark Confidant. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Please, if you did, give me a follow and let me know in the comments. And yeah, join us again for the next one. Cheers.